Hello, welcome to Social Distractions. We are here again discussing everything that goes on in the world and right here at home. We're covering all the hottest trends that are happening on the news, in social media, and everywhere in between. I am here with my incomparable co-host, Cecily Jamela. She's giving you the lady in red today. She looks like the evil villain in one of those action thriller movies that you do not want to be a bad guy in. I am Mike Mizzle. I will be helping to moderate the show. I am dressed like a hip-hop pallbearer tonight. Like I could have literally been the sixth man on DMX's casket. And we have the legend, the icon, the phenomenal comedian. One of my inspirations to do comedy is Ralph Harris himself. Clap it up for Ralph Harris. You guys are out there. Thank you so much for joining us. I don't know where we got the money from to pay you, but it says it's pending. It says it's pending on my Cash App, so just hang in there. I'm sure it'll come through at some point this year. How are you doing, man? Tell us about what's going on and in your world.
I'm good. You know, I was thinking when you said hip hop pallbearer, it's for like the last 15 months. All we needed was whatever would work. You know, from here up, like. You could have a half top on right now, and it wouldn't even matter as long as in camera you good, you know. But I've been doing these auditions from home and learning, you know, from like 15-year-olds how to do lighting and stuff, and then when I can get her on the phone, she'll teach me something, you know. So aside from the audition, are you hearing me or are you getting feedback?
No, we hear you.
I hear you.
And aside from, the different auditions and things that I've been doing and voiceover work, I'm hustling, man. I'm trying to get back to this road, though. It's about to open up next month, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah. It's open. It's going to open back up. And the funny thing is that I guess they're waiting for a lot of us to take the vaccination. And so I guess the closer we get to that, the more likely we'll be able to go back outside. And so, you know, and it's been a lot of so for me personally, a lot of people don't know this. I'm gonna go ahead and come out the closet tonight. I'm trans-vaxxed. So I'm trans-vaxxed. Yeah, so I identify as vaccinated, but I'm really not. And so you know, so I'm gonna ride that wave simply because I don't know what that's gonna do. I don't know what the vaccination is gonna really do for light-skinned people. I've been seeing a lot of brown-skinned people and white people taking it, and they're okay. But it's just something about the lighter melanin that seems to, you know what I'm saying? But worst case scenario, I got an extra arm, which just makes my hugs even bigger because they'll be like, hey, come here. Boom, look at that. I got you. Hold it back in your head. But yeah, it's, you know, it's a lot of that going on. So, you know, I want to wish everybody the best and whatever decisions that they make. I know that, you know, a lot of vaccine shaming has been going on.
Yes.
You know, like,
oh yeah, I got clown.
Yeah, and it's like
we got the same vaccine.
You didn't clown me, but other people were like, "Oh, you got the Johnson & Johnson." And remember a couple weeks back when they had that alert, you know, they were like, "You got the Johnson & Johnson. You might want to get the other one." And then the next week, Pfizer was letting the report out that you got to get the booster shot, and you know, and now Dr. Fauci said next year everybody might need a booster shot.
Yeah, so it keeps changing. So that's why I'm like, I'm not judging anybody on whatever your decision is. You know, my uncle had some at the crib. He said he had the vaccines at the house, and I went over, and then he was like, let me hook you up, and then he had a spoon, and then he was like burning the spoon, and I'm like, I don't think that's the vaccine.
That ain't the one.
I don't think that's it.
Well, that's
I saw the Billie Holiday story that she had that vaccine back in the 70s. I don't know if I want that one. But so you know, just starting off, man, you have been a pioneer in comedy for a while. You have played some of our favorite characters. I still pop in to your Facebook page every now and then so I can check out Pops. Pop going on. Pop baby, Pop looking at camera with them glasses, and I'm talking about. I had to pause it because it just takes me out every time. Yeah. But what key tell us for you, what's the biggest difference between when you were doing, like when you guys were doing it back and originally doing like comedy, stand-up comedy, and now with the digital era? Is there a huge difference?
When I was doing it, I mean, there were so many different places to work. Like I started in Philly in the 80s. And so there was a ton of places to work, and it did have its segregation issues. The black guys would, the white cats wouldn't really let us know all the gigs to do, all the money gigs. They might pick and choose one guy that they felt comfortable and safe around,
Okay.
And then the brothers who I hung out with was Keith Robinson, a guy named Rocky Wilson. We started a group called Comedy Express to get other guys working, other brothers who might not get the time on stage. So there was a lot of people helping each other out. And in the social media world, with now it's still really good. Like you don't even need a PR person now. You can promote yourself. You can develop your own audience and almost claim the dollar amount that you want. However, I feel that people who have successfully made the social media mark for themselves might not be as helpful at times. I've been lucky enough to find some people who have been extremely helpful, who have already broke and had a virtual success, show me some things, but I'm also working at it constantly myself. I think that's why they help me. So I find that now, I mean, I wish we had this in the 80s. In the 80s, if I had this, man, we could be as big as just you name the star right now. We would be as big as that.
No, I agree 100%. It was funny because you were talking about how Cecily helps you to to just kind of navigate some of this digital world, and it brought to me a reminder of when Keenan Wayans had a video clip that circulated where he it's like it's like, yeah. And so I'm like, I wonder how many people that's happening to that have to just kind of like DIY, do it yourself type of people. That's like, okay, it's off, because we've all been in forums where people have kind of like not really got it together. Right. But you seem to have a good handle on it.
Well, I'm a techie, like I'm a geek, Okay. So like I had a Mac ever since '94. And so I was always like interested in what this little camera would do, if you turned it on. And I would make my own little movies at first with just the computer's camera. Or the little one, the little one that you buy and have to put on top, and like I would make my own little movies with that. They look like they, the quality you could barely see, but I did that because I was like, there's got to be something to the fact that this is available to us for free.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's so that's awesome. Last question before we hop into our ambush segment. Right. You've been around for a while. You've worked with some of the greats. You've seen a lot of people start out and become household names. Right. You've seen a lot of people come and go. Give us, for people that did maybe that you can shed some light on, for the younger viewers that didn't really know about Paul Mooney. And rest in peace. He passed the other day, and his legacy is just definitely not to be denied. He was some of the greatest writing on some groundbreaking shows. What should we know about him as a younger audience? We didn't really get a chance to see him perform and know exactly what he stood for.
Well, I think that first and foremost, I hear a lot of people, and God rest his soul, but I hear a lot of people talk about, how he didn't care and he took chances and things like that. But you got to remember, Paul was a consummate professional. I mean, at the end of the day, he was a comedian. And so it wasn't like he was going up on stage to put Whitey down. That wasn't his mission. His mission was, I'm going to make you laugh. You give me that mic, I know what to do with it. And so the thing that I love most about him is that if you really wanted to, you had a question or wanted to know something and you asked him the right way with respect, of course, Paul would put down whatever he was doing to answer your question. And if he watched your set and saw you perform, he would wait and see how you approach, and he would give you tags. He would help you fix a bit. He said, you homie, you shouldn't do that. You're going too far. You're giving too much information, and you really could get to the punchline a lot quicker. So he was really into his love for comedy and helping other comedians do it well. If he could tell you really were respecting the game, because if you were bastardizing the game, thinking you were going to get a quick fame thing, he didn't even have time for that.
Right. Yeah. That I think that speaks volumes to the originators of comedy, and for the people that paved the way, who showed us a lot of us stand on, because you really don't get that a lot anymore. Now you get come to my room, hang out. If I see you in the building a lot of times, then maybe I'll give you I'll let you open up. But that's like after I've been there 15 times and spent $10,000 on cheap liquor and laughed at all your jokes, and now it's like, you really don't see it anymore. So that's kind of one of the headaches that I had, because it's like, I don't know you. I'm like, nobody. I don't know you either. Like, I don't understand the soap opera of it all. But at the end of the day, like you said, real talent's going to rise no matter what. And all it takes that one good break. So we're gonna keep on pressing our way. But the theme of the show today. So the theme of the show is ambush comedy, not ambush you with your personal business. But we haven't let you in on any of the topics that we're going to be discussing tonight. So,
which is what I'm used to, by the way.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Perfect. Yeah. And these are topics that are going on. So the ambush part of it is that these are things that are going on in social media and current affairs, current topics. Right. And we just want to see how much about what's happening in social media and on the news, stuff like that, with some of the newer celebrities, some of the reality stars, and that whole thing. So
what this should be called is show your age, is what it should be called. Some young people be out of the loop too. Like we don't judge on. I ain't saying it's just going. If you go pop culture and social. It's like some things pass me by because I don't give a damn. I'm at that age. I don't give a damn.
Oh, this is true. This is true.
But I do pay attention to a lot though.
Oh, nice.
Are you wearing pants? Are you wearing pants right now?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Because I might have to pee. I'm also at that age.
Okay. Well, man, look, it creeps up on you. I got to go to the bathroom as soon as I feel it.
Right. As soon as somebody says pee, you got to pee, right?
Right. And what is with the door wedge up? Like, how you should get home? You'll be fine all the way in the car, and then as soon as you park in your parking space, then you like, like your body be like, oh, we here, we made it. Man, listen, I have traveled my apartment plenty of times trying to get in the house and get to the bathroom.
I trick myself now, making myself think this ain't actually my house. So that's how I'm able to hold it until I get upstairs.
Right. Exactly. Cecily, do you, as the first lady of social distractions, does that happen to you guys? Do you guys ever get like home and be like, I gotta go to the bathroom? Like bad? I know it happens to God. Yes? Okay. I don't know how I'm asking questions.
Look, I will think about all the obstacles that I have to go through from the parking lot to my door to the room. You know what I mean? Just because every step counts.
Right.
Oh, okay. And don't get me started on the the two-step. I gotta pee Watusi. Oh baby, you think I was doing a TikTok, creating some kind of TikTok video? Because I'm talking about all over the place. You know what I mean? So, but that's good to know. It's good to know it's just not a male thing.
No, it's not. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, when you have those dreams where you have to go to the bathroom, it's a setup. Do not do it.
Oh my goodness.
Don't do it.
Oh yeah. Oh, in the dream. Wait, so you work in the dream? You're working it out. You working it out in the dream?
Don't go. It's not real. It's not real. No, it's a setup.
It's set up.
You're not,
if you go to bed from your dream, you're gonna wake up with a whole different. You're gonna have a whole different bedroom situation going on. So yeah, exactly. But so we have we got comments popping up. Okay, so we have we have a couple topics that we're gonna go through, and we're going to see kind of where this goes. So Tony, our brand ambassador, is just stopped in because he is our expert on everything that is brand related. Because we don't know nothing about what expensive stuff, and so he tells us all about that, and he tells us about what's going on in the media. So Tony, thank you for joining us. We're gonna give it over to you for a minute so you can tell us what's going on out in the Hollywood of things, and what's the breaking news in Hollywood.
Well, basically, what's been happening is that Barry Jenkins, he released a 52-minute visual essay, "The Gaze," and the video was Jenkins' attempt to inspire conversations about the simple acting of looking from a Black person's perspective. It was also a repudiation of recurring questions from journalists about the white gaze. Basically, Black artists are starting to react to questions that are coming their way when they're getting interviewed. And here are a couple of the questions that, may pop up and, that may irritate people of color that are artists and in the entertainment industry. One is like, when will you start to tell stories that have nothing to do with race or Blackness? It's a constructive dialogue about race in America, and society doesn't happen often, but largely because discussing racism is always so difficult. These avenues of discussion require the confrontation of ugly truths about the nation's history, and as well as the others' own. What is unavoidable is Blackness, Black skin. It has many shades: Black hair, intelligence, culture, sexuality, femininity, and masculinity has been politicized since the first Black people were kidnapped from the shores of Africa and brought to the Americas. Centuries later, it still seems that Blackness remains politically charged. And basically, what is also being said is that it should come as no surprise that many Black filmmakers choose to incorporate racial themes into their storytelling. Still, journalists always want to dig into that rather obvious point. There was an expert, which I don't have the video for, but we will see it at some point. Toni Morrison was interviewed by Charlie Rose, and he asked her if she could imagine writing a novel that's not centered about race. Her elaboration is all you would need to know to tell you about why it's best to avoid this question. She simply states this: yes, I can write about white people, and white people can write about Black people. Also, in art, there are no boundaries. So having to prove that she can do it she thought it was rather insulting and embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, it's kind of implied that, if you're not writing about race or about white people, that's what you need to be doing. In order for it to be real writing, if it doesn't involve, your characters interacting with white people, then your writing is perceived to be not legitimate. Mm-hmm. And then also another question is, why can't Black filmmakers make a certain type of film? It usually comes from various genres. Black filmmakers do not have a long history of fantasy, science fiction, horror, or other things. There was a movie that was released in 1973, and it was Tales from the Hood. And it was a subversive breath of fresh air in 1995. And as you know, in the recent years, with the uprise of filmmakers like Jordan Peele, Ryan Coogler, they've changed the game even further, if you will. Mm-hmm. And then over the years, it's been a bizarre, at times unconscious, assumption that Black filmmakers are incapable of making the great movies when there aren't straight dramas or comedy. So even now, when Black direction of cast goes beyond the limitations, it performs well at the box office and is followed by industry shock and awe, which is sad in 2021. It would seem incongruous that the same race of people responsible for the music and dance styles that dominate popular culture, who come from the tradition of the griot producing great literary works, would somehow have limited imaginations on their storytelling abilities. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's a question that you might ask instead. Why are the industrial forces that might be getting in the way of making an inventive space opera with a predominantly Black cast, or why fantastical, bewitching, Fellini-inspired script with a Black cast or director is collecting dust in some studio executive's office? Ask why none of the movies or novels of celebrated African-American science fiction fantasy author Octavia Butler have never made it to the big or the small screen. And then they always want to know, what's it like being a Black man or woman in a certain role today? What's it like? I mean, a lot of times that question comes up often, and it seems defensible against the backdrop of an industry contending with a racial reckoning. It's also very short-sighted, if you will. Black artists have been vocal about wanting to be seen as artists first, from what I understand, and with their skill and talent given the opportunity to speak for them, not the color of their skin or their gender. It's like, basically, how can a Black actor play James? If a Black actor wanted to play James Bond, because James Bond is a hugely coveted, iconic, and beloved character that makes audiences, he takes them on a journey without any racial implications that might come off with the color of their skin. Right? It's like with writers and directions, would they consider this if the person was white? Would they ask them, you can't play James Bond because you're white? That's always a question that's thrown to someone of color when they want to take the role of someone that's, not, that's white. And kind of lastly, to wrap this up, is that Black talent should answer all the big questions. You have to try to understand the appropriate avenues of conversation and not look at your Black subject as an excuse to parse Black culture in a broader sense. I just want to say, in closing, Issa Rae summed this up best earlier this year during a conversation hosted by LinkedIn, where she said, "Some of us can get frustrated. Any minority, when you're just like I feel, have to learn so much about your culture and you. And I don't necessarily ask you questions." What she says is she does the research. And so for me, she's just hoping that you do your research before you come to me, because she was exhausted. And she doesn't want to have to spend a lot of time going down the list of everything that's wrong. But she's saying that you should basically research everything on your own before you come to a Black person and ask them, or a Black artist, a question, and you don't have any background to substantiate it. And my question to everybody is, do you think it's fair for the media to ask questions that relate to an artist's skin color rather than their craft and their body of work? And you, as artists, have you ever encountered this, and how did it make you feel?
I'll take a stab at it. First of all, thank you for that, because I've seen that coming through the last couple years, and I'll keep it real brief. Two things I could think of. One is the James Bond and Idris Elba conversation, and how the Pilgrims got really, really, really upset because at their heralded icon possibly being played by a Black person. And then most recently, Michael B. Jordan had to shut down some rumors of him possibly being the first Black Superman. And he came out and was like, no, that's not it. If it is going to happen, it's not going to be me. And I feel like that speaks to the narrative that still to this day, no matter how wonderful actor we are, no matter how much you're celebrated in Hollywood, whether it's Black Hollywood, white Hollywood, or both, some people are just really not ready to see their icons in Black and Black skin, and it's weird.
I'd say that too, 100%.
Well, it's also crazy because the money game is, even if we sat and said, because the audience will always say, well, the Black audience will always say, well, why don't we do it ourselves? Well, when we try to distribute on the budgets that we can afford and through the portals that we have, they either support it as long as they can, or they try to bootleg it, and it's like, we can't make money if you bootlegging and trying to find ways around paying for it. That's why we got to go through the bigger portals that are already protected, because if we could do this show without being on someone else's portal, we probably would. But would they find us? Would they tune in every week, and would they would they be there? So there's a push and pull of people saying that they want it and we don't get it, or we don't have it. But then when it comes to them supporting it and being consistent with it, it's like when nightclubs open up and close in LA. I mean, it's hot for about 6 months, maybe a year. After that, people go, man, I don't even go there no more. That's old. It's old in a year. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now the shelf life of anything is so short that, a lot of, just like the Toni Morrison interview, I saw it, but the other people are still going to ask the question because, it doesn't get referred to the same way, or it takes someone else standing up for themselves like she did in the interview. Like Kwame Brown right now, for example, is standing up for himself, but it's the hot ticket. It's going to increase his YouTube viewership and things like that. But next year, somebody be like, that's old news. They're on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I guess, and also too, I feel like it's a double-edged sword, because, like a lot of an actor's motivation is to further or to open doors for people of their race. Right. And so then to get in an interview, and I do understand Tony made a great point. It's where's the balance? Where's the balance? Like, I don't want, there's a correct way to do, a politically correct way to do some things. Right. And then there's a way that comes across as if you're trying to be denigrating. And it's a savvy little dance that you have to do. And I think some people do it well, but I agree with him. Like, where do we slice? Like, it's a double-edged sword. It's like if I come on, you ask me about the role in the movie, and you don't ask me about race, and then I go on and be like, well, you know what I'm saying, coming at it from a black perspective, then now it's like, well, we didn't ask you about race, you brought race up. Or when I always mess this guy's name up. The guy he just won the award for the Judas and the Black Messiah. And he's British.
Yeah.
So, and they were asking different actors in that movie about their approach to the movie, and if they had to do additional research because they're not American blacks. And it was just like, and it's just like, it's so many layers to that without going into their conversation. It's so many layers to that. And I just don't know. I really don't know if you're going to ever be able to avoid that. Because like Tony said, we've always seen white people in Hollywood. And so now you start to see actors of African descent, African American actors, Black British actors playing these major roles, and then that conversation is gonna come up. It's gonna come up, and I don't know if you can avoid it. I feel like it's unfortunate, but once again, we have to just be above excellent and learn how to navigate those questions like Morrison did, and bring them back around to avoid looking a certain type of way. Sorry, I'm trying to help you out. Anything?
Yeah, I think that everyone should have a right to choose what kind of artist they want to be and what their art is. I don't think that it should be expected that as a Black actress that I have to do something for my people, that I have to be a part of Black productions. If I cross over, or if I'm winning in the mainstream era, that I'm like, now I'm a sellout, or, I just think that people need to be free to do whatever they want to do and be respected for their art, not question about their intentions. If you're passionate about something, I feel like you as an artist, like especially with Toni Morrison, that interview in particular, she was passionate about creating Black stories that resonated with her and her people. That's her lane. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you could segment that from who she is. I think that that's the kind of person that she is. And when you question that, I really think that's really disrespectful, because we're talking about what motivates us. You know what I mean? It's like it's a very personal question. And I love that video. I could watch it 1,000 times because I love that look on that woman's face when she responds.
Right.
But, you know, I just think that, I mean, I've been here for about 15 years and I've seen things change drastically. Although I've heard people say, hey, the things that happened, they've happened all over again. And even this whole wave of all Black folks getting on shows and getting all this attention, this has already happened before. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a point where everything's kind of going to go back to normal. Oscars will be, you know, we'll do a hard reset and they'll probably forget about some people and we'll be trying to figure it out in the future. But my advice to anyone that wants to do this, I just say, just be true to yourself. It's hard enough trying to get these gigs, trying to live on, you know, in LA and get these jobs than to put that extra weight on you. So whatever motivates you, I feel like stay true to yourself and stay in that lane.
And you know, I wanted to say that Toni Morrison interview is a good lesson in class and dignity and when they try to get you with a gotcha question, because if she had gone off like the typical Black woman and just, you know, and try to let him have it instead of just kind of being calm and just saying to him, you know, and I say typical. Now, I know a lot of not so typical Black women.
Like from
I just knew Cecily was going.
Well, you saw me do this. I mean, that lets you know if you ain't a head wagger, you know.
Okay. It was unspoken.
So you know, it's that's the way to handle that, because I mean, an interviewer typically is their job to get you in those gotcha moments. You know, I mean, you what do you call this? What do you call this? Ambush. Come on, I mean, you know, that makes for the best entertainment. You know,
that is true. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, you just got to be ready and you got to be poised and you got to have some class about yourself.
Hey, y'all heard it from a great himself. Don't let them set you up for failure. Keep it together and dance the dance, dodge the questions, answer what you want to answer, don't answer what you don't want to, and make it through that interview alive. To shine today. So, all right. So now that we've gotten past all of the heavy stuff, you know what I mean? We're gonna get into a little bit of little more gossipy, because that's what I like to do. But like you were saying, it's one thing. It's one thing to have be in a space and to have a person of another race to ambush you, to set you up, to embarrass you. It's a whole totally different thing when it's somebody of your own. And it's even worse when it's supposedly one of your friends. So just recently, we had a situation with Joe Budden, who has a podcast. He rose to fame from, I mean, he was a rapper. And then he was he translated that into some other gig, and then he did reality TV for a minute, which we all know is the breakout moment when you're really becoming a success, is when you're on reality. And so he did that. And he was able to segue that into a podcast and a talk show. And so he had a couple guys that were with him, Rory and Mal, and they were with him from the beginning, and they were grinding it out and they were doing their thing, and they helped him build this platform. And so once he got start getting the looks from Viacom and some of the heavy hitters, and he had a Spotify deal on the table. The guys that were with him the entire time, grinding it out, no questions asked, was like, whoa, like what? Like, so can we ask about the numbers? Like how is this going to unfold? How's it going to unravel? How do things land? Here I'll let them speak for themselves, and then we can figure out. This was Joe's response to their questions.
Change the splits. Change the benchmarks. Hey, y'all go get a deal and bring it back. I'll take less. Not much less. Not much less. But I'll take less if y'all source it. Hey, y'all go get the advertiser and the integration. Hey, we talk about these deals all the time. You bring it, you eat different. I bring it, I eat different. You niggas ain't brought shit and got the nerve to have y'all fucking representation and ain't been around in 6 years. Hit Ian phone about something. I won't say what I want to say. But y'all will not continue to treat me this way.
So that was his response. That was his response to his co-hosts asking him, "Hey, we've been riding with you we've been riding it out with you. We made some major strides from coming from a podcast to to this big deal, and we just want to know kind of like what the numbers is looking like for us." And he fired them on air. And my question is, I mean, he said I don't want to say I'm not going to say what I want to say. What more? I mean,
you fired me on air. You said it.
You said it all. You said it all. You said it all. Other than he got holes in his drawers and his baby mama is like other than personal business. But my thing is this: can friends be in business together, or is it over once? Is it over from the beginning?
I don't think it has anything to do with friendship. I think it's the business. It's a business deal gone wrong, and I think that they didn't set up the proper a proper deal. Like, what happens if we blow up? You get this, you get this, you get that. I think they went into it haphazardly, and they may have felt slighted for a while, and they felt in this moment, hey, we've got to figure out what our cut is, because he might be the show person, but all these people make it happen. They're all important, and they've probably felt like they weren't being compensated enough. You can be Joe Budden, but you can't be Joe Budden unless I hit this button, do these graphics, write this stuff, call. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a show. It's not just you, the show person. So I feel like they feel disrespected, and I don't know if we'd have this conversation on the air, but about 10:55, I have a question for you guys about what's going on with this show. What's
okay?
Good?
So Ralph, what you give me? What's your thoughts on it?
My thing is, it's just like in TV, in Success you renegotiate. You might go in your first season and your check is $10,000 an episode. But just like Friends back in the day, I don't know if you remember that, but Friends held out after, I think, season 1 or 2. They all held out for them to get $100,000 each, and they didn't come to work. And the network could have smashed them just like that. They could have said whatever. But there's a way to do it. Now, I don't know if I necessarily would have said to him, can we know the numbers? I would have let business people ask those questions. And then he should have been classy and just saying, if Joe, if you're handling the business like that and their business people came, you handle it all professionally. He don't have to go. We're in the era of the clapback and the
cancel culture,
giving everybody the raw all the time, every situation. And it's like, look, you call yourself a businessman, you have a business portal and an entity that can make money. Why you gotta still act like you on the corner fighting for, your corner customers? That it ain't that. It's not that. It's a bigger deal than that. The people on the bigger portals, the Adam Carollas and all, they ain't firing people online. They ain't firing them in front of you.
No.
There's a way to do it, and it's like that. I hear a frustrated rapper anytime I listen to Joe Budden. I hear a frustrated rapper.
I agree.
So
I agree. I thought it was an oxymoron that he said, we talk about all these deals, we talk about all the business aspects of it, when they're saying we don't. And then he turns around and says, why would you have your representation to call me about the numbers? Isn't that how that's supposed to go?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's exactly how it's supposed to go.
I feel like it was a chess move. I feel like it was demeaning. I feel like it was intentional. I feel like it was to lower it was like to embarrass them and to lower their stock, so that when it came to the negotiations, you could then be like, they're not worth anything because I was able to fire them on air or whatever the case may be. But so when the buzz got going, and so people went to the person that I feel like that right now people feel like is the litmus for how to be successful with your friends, and we're gonna hear what he had to say.
Okay, he's fired the one on air, and then the other one he said he's allowing him to come back, long as he changes his views.
Yes.
So the podcast is still going to move on.
Yes.
He's just getting new co-hosts.
Yes, he's getting new co-hosts. By the way,
is that what spec is?
New co-hosts that if they decided to come will be stepping into not only a toxic work environment, a work environment where you get no respect at all from the person that employs you. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the example that you just saw. Here's the question of the day. How does it make sense to you to have such strong actions against the people that were with you as you built the brand that you now stand on and demand respect for? This brand that has allowed you to not only succeed and have success has been accompanied by your partners. Work for hires maybe, but they're your partners.
I got something to say.
Okay, so Kevin, so the guy goes on to ask, would you be upset if we asked you about the numbers? And Kevin's response was, you don't have to ask me about the numbers because I have an open door policy. I'd start the dialogue so that you don't have to ever be in that type of a that type of a dark cloud over anything that we're doing. And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that because we saw what he did with the Red Cup boys. We saw what he
I know Kevin to be pretty fair, so he puts his money where his mouth is. So what he said is pretty solid, but and that allows him to say what he said.
And but he went on further to say that basically he felt like Joe Budden was trying to be King Dingaling in the room, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. Yeah. Has that ever happened to anybody before?
Where somebody's not paying you fairly?
I mean, of course that's happened. Where you've been on set, on camera, on a gig, and just out of the blue, somebody just was like, bow, you know what I mean? I wouldn't even I've seen interviews with people like Ari Spears and like that where it goes to blows.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? And so I'm just let's just keep it classy. But I'm just wondering how do you I don't even know. I don't know what I would do in that situation.
Hey man, if it doesn't directly affect me, I've learned that people. I've been in the business a long time, and people are going to have their moments. And if it doesn't really affect me and how I go home with my peace, and if I'm coming back to work tomorrow, that person might be having a bad day, or we might be seeing another part of this person that they've been concealing for a long time. But either they'll burn in flames or the audience, because you never know what people who are watching us are thinking, and and if they're going to be back tomorrow, because they like the drama that we gave them, or they may really be looking at it as entertainment, and they might not be taking it as personally as we might take it at the moment. Because I did a radio show where the host of the show was slamming every guest that walked through the door before the guest came in the door. And I was a guest on that show in studio, and every person who was coming in, big name people, was coming in this door, and the host was clowning, and I was just like, and that person would sit right next to me, and I'd be like, oh God. But it's like, who am I to say, hey man, you shouldn't do that. This person is a good person. And then, each person who they clowned ended up staying extra time because the host was having that much fun with the person. So it just, what am I going to say? I see it all the time.
Go ahead, Seth.
I've walked away from situations where people started that with me, and recently, where people are really caught up in what their credits were and their worth, and ready to fight, you know. And it's not worth it for me. It's not worth it for me to battle with someone like that, or even to make money like that, because even if we make this money, I'm gonna have to worry about another situation if we elevate. It's just a contentious environment that, like he said, a hostile working environment that you'll never be able to feel comfortable in. And having to support my family with that kind of, money and experience, I need to be able to sleep at night. So it's enough for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a no. But it's weird, right? So that's one thing, right? Because that's a business. That's a business situation, right? You're in a business situation with a business friends, and it goes left, and that's how that panned out.
Right.
What about if it's not business? What if where are the lines drawn if it's not business, and what's okay and what's not okay in Black culture when we're at odds about a particular topic? And I'm gonna let Cecily help us out with this one.
I love this segue. So last week, people accused Real Housewives Atlanta star Porsha Williams of breaking girl code when she announced that she was engaged to her co-star Fallon's ex-husband, Simon. Porsha and Simon have been dating for a month now, and they are engaged. And they state that their relationship has nothing to do with Fallon and Simon's divorce, and they got divorced a couple months ago. So, Porsha has said that she is not Fallon's friend in real life, and that she only introduced her as her friend so that she could have a storyline on the show. But recently there's been some footage that came out that showed the two hanging out. And Fallon even stated on Candy's show, by her own admission, that she was friends with Porsha and that Porsha's baby daddy introduced them all. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. I don't know their personal business, but everyone's kind of split on the topic. Like, is Porsha in the right or wrong? And my question was, does girl code even matter in 2021? Now, for those who don't know, and there's might be a few of y'all because y'all not girls, girl code is like this unwritten rule for female friendships. They basically are these unspoken rules or ethics that we have with our best friends, with our girls. And if they're violated, this will make or break your relationship. Okay? So, it's a problem. So my thing is it wrong to date your friend's ex? I got a list for you. I've got a list because some people don't know, and I'm going to read my list. So here's some questions. Is she still in love with him? I'm ready for questions. Listen.
Go ahead.
Is she still in love with him? Did she confide in you about her relationship problems? Did they exhaust all possibilities to make it work? These are good questions, right? Does he own multiple businesses? I'm sorry. How long have you been friends with her? Is he an oil tycoon, or where he get his money from? Did she move on to a long-term or serious relationship? I mean, she might be off doing her own thing. How long were they together? Are they intimate? Does he have multiple streams of income? I don't know. Do you have her blessing? Does he have a rich brother? Maybe, I don't know. Does he have a terminal illness? That might be good too. Or do you stand to inherit a shit ton of money if he dies?
Great questions. All great questions.
That's
so
funny.
Personally, I think that Fallon and Porsha were not friends. I think they were acquaintances, and a lot of people do get that wrong. However, I do think it's kind of clumsy and messy for her to go there, but I feel like if she is sincerely looking for love, if someone's getting a divorce, I feel like that person is fair game, okay? I feel like she has pure intentions. I think she wants to find love, and I feel like she should go for it. Based off of all this information, what do you guys think? Do you guys think it's okay to date a friend's ex?
I have a question. Can I say? So
No, I want someone to answer first.
No,
okay.
absolutely no. For me,
Yes,
for me,
yes,
I was gonna let Ralph go first because he pulled out the big bottle because so he was get his courage together. I slipped my lips because I'm like, I'm about to land in someone's sewer hole. Yeah, but I'm gonna say no. It's not for me, and this is maybe I'm looking at it from a guy code perspective.
Okay.
But no, I don't want your leftovers. I stay out of the recycle bin. I don't want no I don't want no problem, especially if I was there when you guys were dating. Now, if I meet a girl, shut up, Mike. Damn it. Damn. Yep. Nope. I just thought about our guest last week. Nope. Damn. It happens. Stuff happens. Sometimes stuff happens. And
Okay.
yeah, it happens. Oh God. All right.
Yep.
Okay. Ralph, what you think?
Wait.
Hey,
I'm sorry,
man.
Tony. What's
Go ahead.
Tony? What?
I would say, like, I guess the bigger question is, how long should you wait? Should you wait till the divorce is finalized, or I think if you are in a rendezvous while the divorce is going, then that's wrong. But I think after the divorce, it's fair game.
Okay, I like that. That's fair. In some cultures.
Yeah, in some cultures. When I realized that the guy code was a thing, it had more to do. And me and my buddies, we hung out. We spent a weekend just talking about it, and it had more to do with the idea that we were keeping a back door open to the relationship with the ex, and even if that ex was seeing somebody else, if she broke up with that person and had a 3-month time period where we could smash, it's like being able to rumble back. It's just more chaos, if you ask me. So the thing with moving on is like, if I'm not with the person anymore, I'm not with the person. And if I'm not with a woman and she can be happy somewhere else, and even if my brother, I would probably have to kill him. I'd probably have to kill my brother. But if she was happy with somebody else, even if it was my boy, it's like, man, I would say to him, don't hurt her. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman. I just wasn't the right guy for her. It might not be as diplomatic as that. I think we probably had to fight, at least wrestle something, But I've been in situations like that. Plus, I grew up with the aunt and uncle who married the other's partners. Like my uncle married his best friend's girlfriend, and vice versa. And those marriages are over 50 years now.
Wow.
Wait, question. They just swapped the same two people.
They didn't choose the swap. It's just that it ended up that way. They were with the other people were better people for them, and so and they like 50-year marriage. And so because I saw that as a workable situation and I saw the respect, I grew up believing that that's possible.
Right.
Wow.
And so like I got friends now and that are female that don't like it. Like they'll approach me and go, I don't like you being friends with my other girlfriend. It's like, you don't like me being friends? Are you kidding me?
Right.
It's not going to happen. You don't get to run my life like that. And here's the thing. For my own happiness, if I got to give you up because our season is over, I'm sorry. Because I'm going to choose me. I'm going to choose me in the equation.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm like, if that's what you guys want to do, okay. Like, I might not be comfortable with it. If I am, like you said, if I feel like you're a better match for her, I'm gonna give you my blessings, and I wish you guys the very best. I'm not gonna sabotage you guys.
I'm not going bowling with y'all.
You nailed it on the head. I don't want to hang with y'all.
Right.
So if you're my friend, and you date my ex, and there's a difference between an ex. I consider an ex somebody that you have a long history with, and you guys were dating. You guys were dating each other exclusively,
Right.
not some chick you met. Y'all kicked it for a week or two. That part. But if you guys were exclusive and everybody knew you guys were an item, you know what I'm saying, and then you break up, and then I'm gonna show up with her at the red carpet. That's fine. That's on y'all. I agree with. Here's the things. I give me a heads up. Give me a heads up. Porsha found out on social media with the engagement ring. Fallon found out on social media. I think that's foul. Give me a heads up. You know what I'm saying? I don't care whether I give you my approval or not. Give me a heads up. And I feel like that may have been the ex-boyfriend's obligation, because the girls don't owe each other anything. I just feel like that may have been his job to do, to be like, hey, you know, whatever. But anyway, give me a heads up. You know what I'm saying? Give me a heads up. Wish y'all the best. And if me and you can no longer be friends because you and somebody that I used to date are dating, that's the risk that you took. And I wish you guys the very best. Exactly. And if it doesn't work out between you guys, we're still not going to be friends.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest issue is people's when you have in your mind the trap door that you're trying to keep open for your own satisfaction. That's the thing that bothers people. You know, I can't break that glass in case of an emergency anymore because you're over there. But hey. I don't really give a damn anymore. I'm at the age, man, where it's like it's hard enough to find somebody that you trust, Yeah. And once I do, it's like, look, that petty childish thing you got over there about being envious, you need to check it,
Right.
Me too, because I've been in many parties with an ex, and she with another guy, and I've had a couple too many, and I'm looking at her like,
oh, that's me. Oh, that's me. Oh, that's me. Oh, these two are not connected. This and this are not connected. I'll be sometimes shit fly out my mouth and I'll be like, woo, right. I'm gonna ease on out of here before I get killed. But
I've been with all my exes and new people.
But what did you feel? But what did you feel about it? Did you feel power?
I loved it.
See that? Her voice even changed. She's like, I love this.
Okay. It's like a romance album.
I levitated. Oh, yeah. And then I would talk to none of them and go talk to someone new.
Right.
Oh, my God. That's power. That's power right there.
Yeah, but girls could do that. Men can't do that. Men can't do that. You look real trashy with 6 girls that you used to date at one party. Man, maybe they are waiting for you to go to the bathroom. I
have. It has happened to me at shows. Like I've done shows, and like they'll all show up at the gig at the same time, and I'm like, ooh, and then all of them are kind of like you know how people are greeting you as they leave, right? But all of them are standing over on the side in different parts of the room waiting because I'm going to say bye at the end, but it's multiple buys at the end. It's like, ooh. So I leave with the people who were in line. I walk out.
Yo, man, that's so. Well, at least we got some wisdom. We got some wisdom from you on how to navigate these situations. I'm just gonna say that if I'm ever with any of you guys and a fight breaks out of the party, I'm just gonna pretty much know what it was about. And I'm gonna jump in it. I'm gonna jump in it first, and then in the car, I'm gonna be like, "Yo, you tripping?" But in the moment, it's going down. It's going down. And speaking of in the moment, right? And now because we're almost out of time, but what we do. First of all, Rob, I want to thank you so much for being here and blessing us with the knowledge. Blessing us with your presence.
I'll be here anytime for you, man.
Yeah. And so we always close the show on a segment called Not Today Satan, right? And so on today's episode of Not Today Satan, we have the epitome of what your grandmother would call, I mean, if Sit Your Ass Down was a person, this is this would be if so, you know, if somebody would tell you like, yo, you be like, go to hell, and they be like, well, if I do, I'm gonna save you a seat. Okay, if that was a person, if being late for your own funeral, late for your own funeral was a person, that's what this is. This 2021 is. You thought 2020 bad. 2021 is something else. Hell, yeah, I'm gonna let y'all see for yourself. On today's segment of Not Today Satan, we have Send Me a Seat in Hell.
Him sit down on one chair and him a drive him around the community, people. When I tell you, I have seen it all, I have legit seen it all, people.
Exactly how to place him on the chair and exactly how to put him in that position to stay there so that he'll have a sturdy drive and no slip or any mistakes would have to happen on a day like today. And of course, shocking the public. I know the public is very amazed at this, what we have done.
Okay, so for anybody who couldn't figure out what was going on, this man's last wish was to be buried sitting up. He wants to sit up in case there's a long line in heaven. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on upstairs.
You want to be in a chair.
So he said that he was going to decide to have several seats down here. So that when he got upstairs, if there's you don't know. You might have, if God got to read your book for you, you got to go down your list of sins. I guess he had a horrible life because he's like, I'm gonna sit right here.
Wow.
If have several seats was a person, that's who that is. And so, and at the end of the day, he ended up being late for his own funeral. Why? Because he showed up to the funeral. He showed up to the funeral home. He showed up to the funeral home sitting up. And so the funeral director was like, "Oh, not today, Satan. Not today. Not today, Satan." They didn't let him in the funeral home.
Oh my God!
That's why they're having the ceremony on the steps and have him rope up, because they said that they are not letting him. You're not bringing whatever carnival that is in here. God might decide today is the day he gonna get up off the throne and come down here himself. Okay, and we not about to miss heaven, huh?
Who put his body in that position? Where
he was involved?
I've seen that. I've seen it in the Caribbean.
Really?
Yeah, they're definitely overseas.
Have the person sitting up on the truck so that they could. I saw one where the person was like it was waving. But the hand wasn't moving. It was just like, Oh yeah.
Waving at who? Waving at who?
I seen it.
Ain't nobody going with you. Who?
Yeah.
I saw one. Yeah. I saw one where a guy was on a motorcycle. He was on his motorcycle in the funeral home. Motorcycle on a stand, and he's on the motorcycle with his Bluetooth on.
with the old school. Hold on for a minute.
With the Bluetooth on. Look, I said maybe he's taking the Uber. No, he can't be taking the Uber because he's on a motorcycle. So I guess he's gonna call God and let him know to open up.
Right.
I'm outside.
Right.
I'm outside.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's crazy. But that's today's segment of Not Today Satan. What you're not gonna do is, baby, my mama will slap everyone. We all gonna die today. If I show up at a funeral home sitting up in a chair in my chartreuse jacket with my white pants and my slide on Versace slides, everybody, whoever has something to do with this, we all going. Once again, Ralph, man, we thank you so much for being with us today. We had an amazing time. And that's going to be it for our show today. Thank you guys so much. For everybody who's in our digital studio audience, thank you guys for coming through. Thank you for all the comments. And please tune in next week. Same time, same bat time, same bat channel. This is us signing off from Social Distractions Live, Season 2. We love you guys. We're out.
Bye. That's in the